It's Carson with SC Traditions, and if you're new to the channel, I just want to give a big thank you for checking it out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we got lots of cool stuff just like this coming down the pipe. So I was sitting around thinking the other day, you know, it's been a minute since I filmed just a straightforward fishing video. I'm all the time out there trying to do how-to videos, fishing challenges, catch, clean, and cooks, all that really cool stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love every second of doing that. But it's been a minute since I got out there and just tried to catch some fish and catch it on video. So that's exactly what we're doing here today. Now, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say I didn't come out, you know, a day or two ahead of time and try and do the same video. And I actually had some luck. The first time I came out and tried to do this, I caught a 3-pounder and then I caught a 5-pounder. And I got it all on video, the hook sets, everything, loved it. Best footage I had ever gotten, at least on this channel. And I was super excited. And then, that night, I took it off the SD card, moved it onto my computer, and then accidentally deleted it all. It's all gone. I said, you know what? I am not letting that beat me. I am better than that. The footage that you are seeing is all that I have left of that day, but I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do just as good. We're out here today, we're gonna make it happen, and it's gonna be really awesome. Missed another. Come on. That is 3 in a row now. 3 in a row. Don't want to hit the spinnerbait, and they spit the fluke. That got him. That got him. Ooh, that's a big brim hitting the fluke. What the heck? What is that, boys? Come on. Whew. That's a good sized brim right there. It's a quick science lesson for you. I think I missed that brim twice before I caught him because his mouth just wasn't big enough to eat it. I think the way that brim was doing it, and you can tell by it missing one of its little tail flukes right there, it was coming up behind trying to grab it like that. Well, most of the time it was just grabbing it up to there. Well, the hook was sat here. So every time he'd grab it, I'd feel him tug like that, and I'd go boom, and just rip it out of his mouth, and boom, just rip it out of his mouth. And the third time's the charm, you know, he was able to come up to about here, and that's when I stuck him. Just a theory. There we go. On the fluke. You wanted that thing for breakfast now, didn't you, son? Woo, little green fluke. Been a hot minute since I fished one of these, and first cast I throw it back. Boom. Smoked it. Saw him smoke it. He ain't big, but we're happy with fishing the boat, you know what I mean? All we're doing is letting it sink a minute, take in the slack, and just give it a little pop. Oh, I missed him again. He was right there. And you know you're missing him because that's what you're coming up with. A big thing with single hook fishing, especially like when you're doing Texas rigs and flukes and that sort of stuff, is once you feel that initial tug, you gotta stay calm, you gotta reel the slack out, and then you gotta set the hook. A lot of times if you still got slack in your line and then you immediately wail back and you don't give it time to really reel that slack in and make sure your line's tight, all you're going to do is create basically a whip effect, and you're going to rip that line straight out of that fish's mouth. There it goes. There we go. You know, we ain't breaking any size records today, but we're catching fish. Woo. That's the easiest hooks come out all day. You get back in there, buddy. You know, don't let anybody ever rag on you for what you're throwing. Everybody wants to go out and throw the big chunky crankbaits, throw the big chunky spinner baits. They're really awesome. I caught my biggest fish on them, and to this day, spinner bait, double blade, willow, and Colorado is my favorite lure in the world. Love it, throw it every chance I get. I've got one tied on right now, right here, just in case I get to use it. But you know what I've caught every fish on this video on? This right here. It is a Texas rigged fluke. Simple, perfect, quiet as they get. And you know what? The fish are tearing it to pieces. And that 5-pounder and that 3-pounder, you know what I caught it on? A Texas rig finesse worm. Just a simple Zoom finesse worm. You can go pick up 20 of them for $3. There you go. What the heck? What the heck? We got a tangle in the line. There we go. We're back in business. We're back in business. You know, we are catching them all the same size. Another one bites dust. So the way that this pond sits is it's really shallow right up on the bank, but it has a sudden drop off. It was a cattle pond, and what it was for is that ledge is where the cattle could stand, but then fish could go out a little bit deeper. Well, what these bass do, since they're predatory fish, is they sit right off that drop off. And what they're doing is waiting for little tiny bait fish, like this fluke is mimicking, to just peek out over the edge, and boom, that bass comes up and smokes him. And that's all we're doing with the fluke. We're throwing it just right on that drop off, and it hits, and as soon as it rips through and starts to flutter down, the bass thinks, oh, dead, dying bait fish, he's mine. Change it up. Let's go brim fishing for a minute. Sir, sir, sir. I've called to inform you about your car's extended warranty. If you spit the hook, I'll put you in some new water. It's a little cold, but treat it like a spa day. So that, y'all, is a picturesque bluegill. You can see a little fluorescent blue on its gills. That's why it's a bluegill. All right, last cast. And I know every fisherman says last cast, but this one's legit. There's a last cast. We might fish it back a little slow, but I think we're calling it quits after this. All right, that'll do her. That'll do her just fine. So it's a couple days later now, and I've been sitting and thinking how odd it is that I caught a bluegill on a fluke. I mean, that hook that I had in that fluke was just barely big enough to fit through that bluegill's mouth. He made it happen. He got stuck and he got ate, let me just tell you. Or he's about to by my grandpa back on down the road. But I was sitting and thinking about it, and you know, I have caught something in the bluegill family though, well, the sunfish family rather, on a fluke of exactly that same style. A couple years ago, I was fishing and I caught a warmouth with them. And if you know anything about a warmouth, they're kind of like a green sunfish. They're kind of like a rock bass. They have a really big mouth, just like a bass, even though they're a type of sunfish. I actually made a YouTube short about this. And they're one of the more aggressive members of that family. And I'll tell you, I was fishing back in some lily pads, throwing flukes, looking for big bass, and all of a sudden I got thumped. I was like, holy cow, what is that? It was a big old warmouth. And he was not happy to see that fluke roll through, or maybe he was, because he found lunch. He thought he did, at least. I threw him back though, so he's still in there, probably being aggressive and mean like all warmouths are. But let me know if y'all enjoyed this style of video. I have a lot of fun. You know, I love doing the catch, clean, and cooks, but sometimes they're a lot of work. So going out and just being able to fish and film is really refreshing to me sometimes. So let me know down there in the comments if you enjoyed this style of video, or if you want to see more just like it. I'll see y'all on the next one though. It was awesome. Thanks for watching.